welcome to another day of Mishmas. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today, we are going to be playing around with some new makeup. So I'm laughing because I'm finally trying the new Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation. I'll let you know why that took me so long once we get into the video, but let me just tell you what else we're gonna be playing with today. The Patrick Ta blush palette. I have a bunch of new eyeshadows. And I asked you guys if you would rather see the AURIC Smoke Reflect, the new shades, or the Tom Ford Quad in Lava Luster, which is part of his new, I think like extreme badass collection. Many of you wanted me to use the AURIC. So I'm gonna be using the AURIC Smoke Reflex in this video. I think I'm gonna have to pick one because they are quite different. And if I have to pair any of the Smoke Reflex with like a powder shadow, I do have the new Viseart shadows, which I'm so excited for. So this is the Petit Pro, which is the Paris Étoile, and then we have 4 Petit Fours. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of use one of these at least to kind of pair with the Smoke Reflect. And then for lips, I did purchase from Violet Grey when they were having their 20% off. I purchased one of their lip palettes from Rouje, and this is the lip palette in Signature. So we're going to be playing with this as well, and I'm also going to be demonstrating my eye brushes again. So I have collabed with Esom brushes, if you guys are unaware. Where have you been? No, I'm just kidding. So I curated this 6 eye brush collection with Esom brushes, and I'm just so proud of this collection. This actually was launched 2 years ago, and it was so popular. We sold out, they restocked, we sold out again, and we decided to bring them back this year. So I'm so proud of this brush set because you really can do everything you need to do with just these 6 brushes. So we're gonna be talking about these. And one thing I wanna mention before I forget, because I thought this was pretty cool and great timing for the holidays, is Muse Beauty Pro, where these are sold exclusively. They're now offering Affirm, which is a way to pay through installments. So I just think that's really handy during the holidays. I know that we all get a little bit taxed buying things as gifts, buying things for ourselves. So Muse Beauty Pro does have Affirm now, just FYI. And also don't forget, you will get 20% off the Esom Brush Book, which is like one of my favorite travel kits. You'll get 20% off the Esom Brush Book if you purchase my collection, and this is only available through the 26th. So December 26th. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. I am also wearing the Lisa Eldridge sweatshirt. I have her gray one that she came out with originally, I don't know, last year or the year before, and I love it so much, and I wear it so much it's like stained. It's like a little bit gross now. So when she came out with this red one for the holidays, I had to pick it up. So I ended up purchasing shades 7 and 10 because I just couldn't figure out what shade would work for me. And that's really why it took me so long to place an order. So many of you were asking me like, what's going on? Are you gonna be testing this foundation? What's happening? And I was like, yes, I just have to sit down. I wanted to watch her video. I wanted to go onto her site and really just kind of like look through all the different shades because she has 40 shades. And it seems like there's quite a bit of a range that could work for one person. So anyway, I got 7 and 10. And then Lisa Eldridge actually DM'd me on Instagram and she wanted to send it to me. And I said, no, it's okay. I went ahead and ordered 7 and 10. And she was like, oh my goodness, I wanted to send it to you. Anyway, she thought these were pretty good picks for me, but she wanted to also send me shade number 12 along with her new Lurex eyeshadows. And so I was gonna wait for those to come, but I thought, you know what? I wanna do a video just on those Lurex eyeshadows. Anyway, I've got all these eyeshadows to deal with. I have 7 and 10. Let's just go ahead and play with these first. So let's get these open. So I have really tried not to watch other people's reviews on this foundation. I really, as you guys know, I really like to try and develop my own opinion without like any influence. So here is the foundation. I did watch Lisa's video, so I know that this bottle doesn't stand up, that you can either use this stand, the box, or you can lay it on its side. Oh, I see. Oh, that's really cute. I like that. It's very, very neat. Okay, so this is shade 7. I'm gonna shake it up. And I do recall her saying that you don't need a lot of this foundation, that there is quite a bit of pigment, a little bit goes a long way. And so she designed the pump so that not a lot of foundation would actually come out with each pump. I thought that was really, really thoughtful. So this is shade 7, ooh, which I think will actually work pretty well. At least it works on the back of my hand. My face is a little bit deeper. Oh, but I think that's actually a good shade. Okay, let's open up 10 and see how that is. Okay, so here is 10 and here is 7. I feel like 10 is for my forehead and 7 is for the rest of my face. All right, so I'm gonna start with shade number 7. Now, in Lisa's video, she said that this foundation is kind of a great starting point. So depending on what kind of finish you want is how you should kind of treat your skin. I'm not wording it quite as elegantly as she does, but because I have dry skin and because I like a foundation with not necessarily like a lot of glow, but I really don't like matte foundations, I'll say that. So I'm gonna just apply some of my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base as primer. And this primer, I feel like just gives my skin just a little bit of extra moisture. So we're gonna start with number 7. Just gonna pump just that one pump because she talked about how you don't need a lot. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my Sonia G Jumbo Base Brush and just pick up a little bit of this. And blend that in. It's quite mattifying. Even with that face base down, I feel like, oh yeah, I feel like it mattified. Oh, it looks so smooth. Excuse me. Okay, reapply to this side. And I'm just applying a little bit. I'm not, as you guys know, I'm not like a full coverage foundation wearer. So I just want, you know, like a light layer of this, just something that's gonna even out my skin tone mostly. So I pretty much use that one pump on my 2 cheeks. So I'm gonna pump out another pump's worth of foundation, and I think that'll probably do it for the rest of my face. Let's see. Okay, I'm taking a close look at all of this on my face. Oh, I think it looks quite nice. It definitely pairs really nicely with the Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This shade number 7 works really, really well for me. So if you're kind of like a similar complexion to mine, I think number 7 will work. I think it's described as a light with neutral undertones. Neutral was really what I was looking for. And I think this is kind of perfect. I think it looks really nice on the skin. It looks really, really smooth. I'm gonna zoom in here. But yeah, I think it looks really flawless. Wow. I have a little bit of texture here along my jawline. I'm gonna zoom in. I don't see it catching on that or anything. I think it looks pretty good. The finish of this is exactly what I would refer to as soft matte. Like there's no shine per se to my skin, but it doesn't look powdery. Like it just, yeah, there's like a softness to it. Okay, and yeah, I really didn't need a lot. I feel like the 2 pumps from this is probably like a half a pump from a regular dispenser. All right, well, so far I am not surprised, but very impressed with this foundation. Oh, it's so lovely. I'm gonna leave a pinned comment down below just to let you know like how this foundation wore, how I liked it. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to this Patrick Ta blush palette. Now, I've been meaning to use this, yet it's been out of stock on Sephora for a really long time, and I didn't want to talk about it until you guys could get it. So anyway, this is the blush palette with the 3 shades, and each one has a cream version and a powder version. Here are some swatches of them, and are there any shade names? Yes, so from left to right, we've got She's a Doll, She's Vibrant, and She's Baked. Now, I purchased the Patrick Ta blush duos that came out like in single shades, and it wasn't that I wasn't the biggest fan of the formula or the blushes themselves. I just didn't think that there was anything I don't know, terribly special about the shades or how they, I don't know, how they made my complexion look. I didn't think that there was anything terribly outstanding about them. But when I saw this blush palette and these two really, really bright shades, and this one, which is obviously deeper and more neutral, these really appealed to me. So I do remember when he first came out with those duos, a lot of people were using them like cream first and then powder on top. I think maybe it was actually on the box packaging of the duos. I don't have the box packaging of this anymore. The box packaging of the duos, it says to actually put the powder down and then tap the cream on top, which is kind of backwards, but I really like working with cream blush that way. I like putting it over powder products, so that works for me. So I'm actually gonna use this deeper shade here. This one is really appealing to me, and I think it'll actually work with the other products that I wanted to try today. So I'm gonna use my Esom X51 brush. This is actually a powder brush, but I don't know, I just like the shape of it, and I think it's really great for blush. So I'm gonna go into this one, which is called She's Baked. Just right onto my cheeks here. And I didn't put any like powder down to set this foundation because it doesn't need it at all. Maybe because I have drier skin, but it doesn't feel like it's transferring. There's nothing tacky about it. And I'm just really curious like how makeup applies over it without powdering. And so far it looks pretty good. All right, so there is She's Baked, just the powder down. That's my bare cheek. Ooh, that's really nice. It's blending out really nicely on top of this foundation too. I think normally I would just kind of stop there. I really like the shade of this blush. I feel like I need a little bit more on this cheek. Yeah, so normally I think I would just leave it here. I think I look pretty darn healthy. You guys know I go in heavy with blush. But for the purposes of this video, I should definitely try this cream blush on top. So let me pick up some, just a little bit with my finger there. And I think I have enough on the apples of my cheeks. Let me apply, out here. Oh, that's nice. It's not too pigmented. Oh, but it adds like a little something. So I just added that there. Yeah, a little something. Let me add this to the apples of my cheeks. Let's see what that does. The cream blush tone, I feel like is a little bit, wow, that's too much. But the cream blush tone is a little bit cooler than this. This has like a little bit of a terracotta undertone, and then this one, I don't know if you can tell, almost has a little bit of like a purpley undertone. So that's a really interesting pairing. Let me try and work this cheek out. I look a little clown-like over here. Well, very, very pretty. I can't wait to use those two other shades in there, like when the weather gets warmer. Those two shades I feel like are really, really like summery kind of tones. But this is beautiful for the winter time, for like a holiday look. I think this is really lovely. Let's see, let me just do my eyebrows quickly. I'm just gonna use my Tom Ford Brow Sculptor in Espresso. And I'm just gonna fill in my brows quickly here because I really wanna get to the eyeshadows. Okay, eyebrows done. Let's dive into these AURIC Smoke Reflex. So the two new shades are Entice and Disrupt. Here is Entice. So here's the cream part, and then here is the top powder part, which is like a white gold. And here are swatches of those two. So I've got the cream shadow and then the powder shadow, and then the powder kind of tapped on top of the cream. So that is Entice. And here is Disrupt. This is the cream base. And then here is the shade on top, which is like this multi-chrome peachy pinky shade. It's so, so cool. So here are swatches of that. Again, I've got the cream shade, then the powder shade alone, and then I have the powder layered on top of the cream. Okay, wow, I don't know which one to use. I don't know, you guys. I'm gonna start with Disrupt. Yeah, let's try that. And this is the perfect time to play around with my brushes because these sable hair brushes are fantastic with cream products. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab, I'm trying to decide between the W21 or the W23. These are the two flat shaders. And I'm gonna use the smaller one, the W21, and these are sable hair brushes. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of the cream, and I'm actually gonna work it out on the back of my hand here because I don't want too much. I'd rather build this up than plop down a whole bunch of this pigment. And I'm gonna apply to the inner corner here and work out. This is such a pretty like cranberry shade. And I think when I first got these, I mentioned to you guys, well, first got them as in her first release when she launched the brand. I really, really like the formula of these cream shadows because I thought they were going to be just very, very similar to the Tom Ford and the Charlotte Tilbury. And while they kind of are, I mean, they're a little bit similar in that they're this very kind of soft, moussey sort of cream shadow. What I like is that it feels a little bit less moist. Sorry, for lack of a better word, it just seems like less moist. It's like a little bit drier, so I feel like they're just easier to handle. So now I'm going to take my trusty V34 brush. This is a big blender brush, and these are synthetic hairs. So this is great for blending out powder or cream shadows. Look at how it just like blows out those edges. So these W2123 brushes are great for like lay down. And look at that. Oh, look at that blending. So good. I really like this color by itself. Maybe I'll leave this for a day that I can really pay it some good attention. So I'm gonna put away Entice. We're gonna stick with Disrupt. Sorry if that disappoints any of you. I'm gonna do the same thing to this eye. I mean, this shadow is really great all on its own, but I can't wait to get that powder topper on top. See how that transforms this. Again, just taking the V34 and blending it out a little. I'm gonna add a little bit more here. I have more on this eye. All right, so that is Disrupt, just the cream part down. Let me go ahead and grab the larger W23 brush, and these sable hair flat shader brushes are so, so good. So they're great for cream shadows, as you just saw. They're great like lay down brushes, but because they're sable hair, they also pick up like chunky, metallic, glittery kind of shades. So this is perfect for these topper shades too. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick some up with this W23. God, this shade is so pretty. And I'm going to apply to the inner corner. Ooh, ooh, so pretty. And just work it over the center of my lid. I'm not going all the way out to the edge. That is so much fun. Oh, I love these. Okay, I do want to add a little bit of powder shadow to the outer corners just to, you know, kind of frame my eyes a little bit more. So I'm looking at these Viseart Petit Fours. So this one, which really appeals to me, has this matte black. I think that's a little bit too strong of a color. I think I just need like a mid-tone brown. So there's a couple of mid-tone browns in here. I'm gonna try the one in the Peridot quad. Yeah, this is a good tone. So this one is called Illusion. Yeah, that's the shade name for this guy. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab my favorite outer corner brush. You guys have seen me use this 1,000 times. This is the W36 brush. Again, sable hair, but it's got this incredible shape, angled, and then it's round, the ferrule. So despite it being round, it's got this flat edge to it. It's just so, so cool. So I'm gonna dip into Illusion and just add, I don't know if this is deep enough. Let's see. It's doing a little something, but not as much as I would like. I think maybe I'll go into this deep kind of khaki shade over here. Again, I'm gonna just keep using my W36 here. And I'm just placing it at the angle, my outer corner here. I'm placing the brush down and then I'm just flicking it over. And it does this incredible, like, auto blending. It's so good. So good. And when you just place the brush down, you get like this nice crisp line. Khaki green, which one is this called? This is Gatsby. This is such a perfect pairing to this AURIC duo. I'm gonna place and flick. And then just blend it over. And that, since this brush is a little bit dirty with the AURIC, I'm just gonna grab another brush from the set, which is the S33. This is like the workhorse brush in the collection because it's just like your basic blender. And this is made out of dyed goat hair. So this is really good with powder products. But I'm just gonna blend that Gatsby shade out. These shadows, these brushes, like everything is working so beautifully together. And then I do want to use a deep shade to line my eyes. I'm going to use my liner brush, which is the T05 brush from my set. It's one of these stamping brushes. Again, I think like a matte black is going to be a little bit too heavy of a look. So I think I'm just gonna go back to this Gatsby shade. I think these are like just a little bit too bright, and I'm just wiggling it into the pan here to pick up product. And you just want product at the tips. I mean, if you're gonna use this brush for liner, you only want product at the tips of these bristles, and then you just wanna stamp. So I'm just going to press along my lower lash line. Yeah, perfect. Just enough, but nothing too heavy like a matte black. Okay. Ooh, fun. Let me curl my eyelashes. I'm just gonna throw on some mascara and then I'll be back to play with the Rouje lip palette. Okay, now for the lip palette. Here are some swatches of the 4 shades. I just went in clockwise direction basically from the bright red around. And I'm sure you guys know I love this bright red, but I also love this nude right here. And I think because this eye look is it's bold for me. I know it's not that bold for most people, but it's pretty bold for me. I think I want to go for a more nude lip look. So I'm going to start with this, and maybe if I want to deepen it up, I can add one of these on top. So I'm just going to use my finger because I want to see how easy it is to apply this. And just going to start by dabbing. And these feel very balmy when I go in. And they have a bit of a like powdery feel to them. Like when I press my lips together, they feel a little bit powdery, but I don't think that they look especially like matte or drying. Actually looks quite nice. I am gonna add a little bit of a lip liner just to kind of clean it up a little bit. I always feel so clumsy with my fingers. So I've got my Sisley Perfect Lip Liner in Chocolat. Just gonna clean out the edges here. Soften it up a little bit there. Wow. Okay, let's do like a quick recap. This foundation looks fantastic on my skin. I can't believe how smooth my skin looks. And it's, when I look in the monitor, I feel like my skin looks really, almost like fuzzy. Like there's a blurred effect over my skin. So nice. This blush, very pigmented. I probably need to be a little bit more careful next time. I feel teensy bit clown-like, but that's okay. The eyeshadows, like just stop it. I knew I was gonna love the Viseart because Viseart formula is just so easy to work with. But these AURICs, they're even more beautiful on the lid than I thought they would be. And this lip palette is great. I will definitely leave a pinned comment down below on how everything wore, if there was fallout from the eyeshadow, if this foundation wore off poorly, or if it didn't at all, and how this lip palette wore. Wow, well thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget that Affirm is now on Muse Beauty Pro. If you want to pay for your order in installments, my brush collection is there. The set is $125. It's available through the 26th, and you will get 20% off one of the Esom brush books if you purchase it along with my brush set. That's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you in tomorrow's Mishmas video.